Setting the stage, a tranquil canvas of American serenity, the 1970s, a time of peace and prosperity. The American dream was alive. Suburban neighborhoods like the one outside Chicago epitomized this ideal. Lush lawns, manicured gardens, and children playing freely. A sense of calm pervaded the air. Life moved at a slower pace back then. Neighbors knew each other, chatted over fences. Children roamed free, their laughter echoing through the streets. It was a time of innocence, but little did they know, a darkness lurked beneath the surface. A storm was brewing. It would shatter their peaceful existence and leave an indelible mark on their lives. The friendly neighbor. Amidst this idyllic setting lived a man, ordinary in appearance, unremarkable, some might say. His neighbors knew him as a pleasant and helpful man, always willing to lend a hand. He was a familiar face at community events, a regular at the local grocery store. His smile was disarming, his demeanor gentle. No one suspected the truth that lay hidden beneath the surface. He was a master of deception, a wolf in sheep's clothing. He had the community fooled. They trusted him, welcomed him into their homes. They had no reason to suspect the evil that resided within him. The clown, bringing joy and laughter to every child's heart. He had a particular fondness for children. He would often entertain at birthday parties. His alter ego, the clown, was a beloved figure. Children adored his silly antics and infectious laughter. With a bright red nose and oversized shoes, Pogo was a hit. He would twist balloon animals, perform magic tricks. His painted smile brought joy to children's faces. But behind the clown makeup, a sinister mind was at work. His eyes, though hidden, held a chilling glint. The laughter he elicited masked a dark secret, one that would send shivers down the spines of those who learned the truth. The everyday man, a portrait of normalcy and community involvement. He was a creature of habit. Every morning he would rise early, collect his newspaper from the porch, still in his slippers. He would wave to Mrs. Henderson across the street as she watered her petunias. He kept his lawn meticulously manicured, his tools always neatly arranged in the garage. He would spend hours tending to his rose bushes, a peaceful pastime that belied the turmoil within. Weekends were for errands. He would visit the local hardware store, chat about the weather with the cashier at the supermarket. He was a model citizen, blending seamlessly into the tapestry of suburban life. The art of deception, blending in and earning trust. His ordinariness was his greatest asset. He was invisible, unnoticed, a ghost in plain sight. He understood the power of anonymity, of being just another face in the crowd. He cultivated an air of harmlessness. He would engage in small talk with the other mothers at the park. He would inquire about their children, their jobs, their lives. He was a master of social camouflage. His conversations were always superficial. He never revealed too much, never shared his true thoughts or desires. He was a blank slate upon which others projected their own perceptions. A helping hand, solidifying his image as a reliable neighbor, he was always willing to lend a helping hand. When Mrs. Peterson's cat got stuck in a tree, he was the first to climb up and rescue it. He helped Mr. Johnson fix his leaky faucet, his toolkit always at the ready. He would volunteer at the local soup kitchen, ladling out bowls of steaming broth with a smile. He would donate to the church raffle, his name always appearing on the list of contributors. He was the epitome of a good Samaritan. His acts of kindness were strategic, carefully calculated to reinforce his image as a pillar of the community. He understood that trust was a currency, and he invested it wisely. The shadows lurking, hints of darkness behind the facade. But beneath the surface, a darkness festered. A darkness that would occasionally flicker in his eyes. A fleeting moment of coldness that would send a shiver down the spine of anyone who caught it. He would sometimes stare a little too long at the children playing in the street. His smile would falter, replaced by an unreadable expression. Then, just as quickly, it would vanish, replaced by his usual affable mask. These moments were rare, fleeting glimpses into the abyss that lay beneath. But they were there, like cracks in a carefully constructed facade, hinting at the monster that lurked beneath. The dark descent, unveiling the monster beneath the mask, Nightfall. His true nature emerged from the shadows. Gone was the friendly neighbor. Gone was the jovial clown. In their place, a predator. His heart quickened with a dark excitement. A hunger gnawed at him, a hunger only he understood. It was a hunger for control, for power, for the taste of fear. The transformation was chilling. His eyes, once warm and inviting, turned cold and calculating. His smile, once genuine, became a cruel parody, a grotesque mockery of human emotion. The basement of horrors, a chamber of unspeakable cruelty. The basement was his sanctuary, his domain. Here he shed the last vestiges of his carefully constructed persona. He became the architect of his own twisted fantasies. The air was thick with the metallic scent of blood. The walls, stained and bare, seemed to absorb the screams of his victims. Tools of his trade lay scattered about, rope, duct tape, knives glinting under a single bare bulb. A heavy steel door bolted shut sealed off this chamber of horrors from the outside world. It was a portal to hell, a place where innocence was extinguished and humanity was forgotten. Luring the innocent, a sinister game of cat and mouse. His victims were young men, lost souls searching for connection, for a helping hand. He would draw them in with his charm, his promises of friendship, of a listening ear. He would invite them back to his house, offer them a beer, a place to crash. He would spin tales of his own fabricated hardships, preying on their empathy, their desire to help. He was a master manipulator. He knew how to push the right buttons, how to exploit their vulnerabilities. He would gain their trust, their friendship, only to betray it in the most horrific way imaginable. The ritual, a perverse spectacle of torture and terror. The handcuffs were always part of the game, a harmless prank, he would say. A test of strength, a way to break the ice, a lie. Once restrained, the transformation was complete, the mask was off. The monster was unleashed. The basement became a stage for his sadistic desires. Their pleas for mercy fell on deaf ears. He reveled in their pain, their fear fueling his own twisted sense of power. Each scream, each whimper was music to his ears, a symphony of suffering. Whispers in the wind, unease spreads through the community. Days turned into weeks. Weeks bled into months. The disappearances continued. A pall of unease settled over the once peaceful neighborhood. The laughter of children seemed less carefree, their games tinged with a newfound anxiety. Mothers, their faces etched with worry, held their children a little closer. Conversations on front porches, once filled with gossip and laughter, now centered around the missing young men. Names were whispered, dates recounted, theories debated. The once familiar streets, bathed in the golden glow of streetlights, now seemed menacing, harboring unseen dangers. The shadows lengthened, stretching out like grasping claws, reflecting the growing fear that gripped the community. Missing faces fade from photographs and memories. Missing person posters, their edges curling, appeared on telephone poles, shop windows, and community bulletin boards. Each one bore the face of a young man, their smiles frozen in time, their eyes pleading for answers that seemed impossible to find. Families, their hearts shattered, clung to fading memories. Mothers clutched photographs, their tears blurring the faces of their sons. Fathers, their voices choked with grief, recounted stories of their boys' laughter, their dreams, their futures stolen. The disappearances became a cruel lottery, a random selection of sons, brothers, friends, snatched from the fabric of their lives. Each loss ripped another hole in the heart of the community, leaving behind an emptiness that echoed with unanswered questions. A glimmer of hope, a desperate struggle for survival. One fateful night, a struggle, a desperate plea for help shattered the stillness. A young man, his clothes torn, his eyes wide with terror, stumbled out of the darkness and into the light of a street lamp. He had been lucky. A moment of distraction, a loosened restraint, and he had seized his chance. He had fought with a ferocity born of desperation, his will to live stronger than the evil that had held him captive. His escape was a beacon of hope, a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit. He would be the key, the one who could unlock the secrets of the House of Horrors and bring the nightmare to an end. The wall's close injustice approaches, inevitable and absolute. The authorities arrived. The man, his facade crumbling, watched as police cars swarmed the once peaceful street. His heart pounded against his ribs, a frantic drumbeat accompanying the approaching footsteps of justice. The air crackled with tension. Flashing lights pierced the darkness, illuminating the house, stripping away its veneer of normalcy. The scent of decay, a sickly sweet odor wafted from within, betraying the horrors hidden beneath its roof. The game was over. The mask had fallen. The truth, like a festering wound, was about to be exposed. And the man, the monster who had masqueraded as a neighbor, a friend, a clown, would face the consequences of his actions. The mask falls, unmasking the monster in the suburbs. The arrest sent shockwaves through the community. The friendly neighbor, the helpful hand, the beloved Pogo the clown, a monster. The man who had shared their barbecues, their children's laughter, their lives, a predator. The evidence was irrefutable. The stench of death clung to the basement walls. The tools of his gruesome trade laid bare for all to see. The earth beneath the house, a graveyard of stolen innocence. The man, stripped of his mask of normalcy, was revealed for what he truly was, a predator who had thrived in the shadows, feeding off their trust, their naivete, their very humanity. Whispers turned to screams. The community's horror and disbelief hung heavy in the air. The idyllic neighborhood, once a sanctuary of peace, was now a crime scene. The whispers that had circulated in hushed tones were now screams of horror and disbelief. Mothers, their faces etched with a mixture of guilt and relief, held their children close, their minds replaying every interaction, every smile, every shared moment with the man who had haunted their dreams. The community, once bound together by trust and shared values, was now fractured by suspicion and fear. The very foundation of their reality had been shaken, leaving them questioning everything they thought they knew. The trial justice unfolds, revealing the depths of depravity. The trial was a media frenzy. Cameras flashed, capturing every detail of the man's emotionless face. Survivors, their voices trembling, recounted their ordeal, their words painting a horrifying picture of the suffering they had endured. The evidence was overwhelming. The physical evidence, the testimonies, the sheer depravity of his crimes. It all pointed to a monster hiding in plain sight. The jury's verdict was swift and unanimous, guilty. Justice, though it could not bring back the dead or erase the trauma inflicted, had prevailed, holding the man accountable for the unspeakable acts he had committed. Scars on the soul. The lasting impact of a shattered reality. The house, its facade crumbling, stood as a stark reminder of the horrors that had unfolded within its walls. It was a symbol of a shattered reality, a testament to the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most ordinary lives. The community, forever marked by the tragedy, struggled to heal. The scars of the past ran deep, a constant reminder of the fragility of innocence and the monstrous potential that resides within the human heart. The story of the clown became a cautionary tale, a chilling reminder that evil often wears a friendly face, and that even in the safest of havens, darkness can lurk just beneath the surface, waiting for the opportune moment to emerge. Who am I?